use my affiliate link to support the channel down in the description. We'll just go bottom to top. We got Nightfall's list as the third list, so if you guys want to see that, we got that for it too. The new goo. It's gonna be just like a list of like 3 give and takes and like 3 gimmick puppets. Nightfall's like, have fun. First deck list is by Mr. Angra. What up, Angra? Also, if you guys want to leave any like descriptions with your deck list, I will read them off as I'm reviewing them. So, oh, sorry, the desktop audio is a bit loud. All right, so Angra, this is the current goo for tomorrow. I don't know if I'll make changes for the Italian Open. Nothing crazy this time. Want to have as much consistency as possible. No 50 or 60 cards because I'm predicting quite a lot of main deck draws. What makes you want to predict a bunch of main deck draws? Okay, so let's see. We do have the 3 Aluber, 1 Quem, 1 Adlib, 1 Tragedy. We are running the Droplet and Super Pally package with the tactics, with the main deck Duster. Very much a kind of Clifton land list. Very similar to that. I like it. I would just say the Duster in the main should probably be in the side. Obviously, if you just want to have an option for the stun decks, I understand. I'm just like, you're not going to enjoy life when you see it going first, is all I'm saying. GZ1K, I started building Vanadium right before Barone got banned. I want to finish it now. I just don't know any of the combos. Well, look out for the Vanadium combo video we got coming out. Is it will allow you to play through Nibiru, and there's also a lot of other nice combos with it. Mommy says taste code knife in terms of the all art Cartesia. MP7. Good night from Germany. Have a nice stream. Hope you get the 50 likes. I'm very excited for the test hands on YouTube video. Hell yeah, hell yeah. I mean, we did just upload an hour one last week, so if you want to get your fill there, go check that out. But have a good night, my brother. Thanks for checking out the stream, even so late over in Germany. Thank you. Best Snake Eye player says GZ1K. Lermashu, oh my gosh, another channel member of the chat. All the channel members coming through to support. You also summon Zealantis to an invalid zone. Fair enough. Tazeco, I love Snake Eye player that don't know what their cards do. Spending 1k on the deck down Flameberg, 2 bodies pass. Ugh. Angra, the list I'll use for 99% use tomorrow. Yeah, just say like the Feather Duster is what you want to change. Side deck is more interesting for sure. The Mistaken Arrest is interesting. I personally prefer Droll, but that's what I would run instead personally, but I understand Mistaken Arrest. It's just that like Droll can be used going first or second, whereas Mistaken Arrest really can only be used going first. It's like you just gotta take the hit with talents. I feel like it'll just do fine, especially on a 4 card list. It will just be fine. And then you do have the Bestials with the Cosmics. I do like the Cosmics. And then you do have the Eldritch, which is interesting. I think this is for like skill drain or something. I forgot what people were using this for. Then you have the cross out for the D-Berry. At that point, I would just also run an Ash Blossom, right? Like you might as well. And an Imperm, in my opinion. Gives you some decent side patterns with the Droplet and all that fun stuff. All right. Yeah, no, this is a good list though. 2 Quignall is cool. I like the Super Probably Droplet. You're gonna be breaking any board. The Despian thing over here, Proskinion, is interesting. I do like the double Quignall though. I would say you'd probably need a Mudragon though if you're running Super Poly. Like Mudragon's pretty good against fire, so just calling fire is pretty good against Princess, I've heard. Eldritch versus Runic Stun decks. Yeah, that's what I thought, right? Not bad. All right, Deli G89, another channel member in the chat, with his 51 card list. Only have 2 High Spirits and a Sarnier. Okay, got it. 69 followers on Twitch. Appreciate it, guys. We're getting up to the 100 there. So anyways, 3 Shrouded Dragon, 3 Cartesia. Well, you'll love to see it with the Olers to filter it out. 2 High Spirits, 2 Sarnier, fair enough. And then 2 Tactics. Kit with Adlib, 2 Tragedy. 2 Tactics, 2 Thrust. I mean, I would run 3 Thrust, but you probably just don't have the 3rd. But the 3rd is definitely correct if you can get it. And then you do have the Cosmics and the Evenlies, and the Change of Heart with the Herald and the Dark Ruler. Not bad. I'd say the Nib is kind of lonely out here, but also I think Nib is just so free against certain decks right now that you want to run it. You definitely don't want to play both Puppet and Adlib, trust me, says Nightfall. Yeah, I've been there. I like Adlib with Puppet when you're only running one Mirror Jade and you need an excuse to recycle your banished Mirror Jade or whatever, but outside of that, yeah, it's not great. I like this list though, maybe just like obviously fix the ratios with the dragons and the high spirits. All right, Nightfall's list. Here we go, here we go. Let's get roasted. Holy crap. This is a crazy list. I mean, it's not crazy, but like the Saravises are kind of crazy. You gotta give me the lowdown on the Saravises. You gotta give me the justification on those ones because Saravis, I mean, we have comedy, right? Like we have Despian comedy for that, and when we're running Allura Darkness, don't we want? I mean, like it might like synergize better, but I think like Saravis obviously is a bit more generic. It's just not searchable. Also, it's not a terrible thing to summon off as Sanctifier because of its on-field effect, but mainly what you're using it as is a discard to negate the activation of a card effect that targets a monster you control, so you can get around Imperm. I've actually debated on this card in Branded like once before. I'm like, oh, this isn't too bad. Oh, it's a High Spirits Bridge. Light Dragon. This. Oh, well, yeah, I guess that works. That's not bad at all. Oh, you can discard this card, negate that. Yeah, no. It's a High Spirits Bridge as well. Yeah, no. I saw some people like maining like Phantasme last format because it was a High Spirits Bridge. But I feel like Saravis is just like way more generic, right? 3 Mercurier though. Okay, I didn't even see that. Let's talk about that. What's the theory behind 3 Mercurier? Maybe like when you want to run 2 Tragedy, 2 Mercurier. Is this the goo? We don't even see the Book of Eclipses anymore. Nightfall is over the Book of Eclipses. I do like this list though. The desires are interesting too at 50. I've seen people run desires at 40, so I'm not mad at 50. I guess yeah. So you don't like banish off the desires. You run the 2 red as well. Be 2 lost at that point too, because you're really gonna probably banish your lost. 3 Mercurier is just interesting. Like I want to know the theory behind that overall. Need to pull my ulti, says Tez Code. Angra, I'm playing Rust because Droll get hit by crossout. I mean, you probably won't get crossout on Droll. If you do, they just have it, you know, kind of thing. Why is it Shadal? Why isn't a Shadal Dragon then? I think in general that's better. Yeah, Shadal Dragon's quite good, I think, right now. I think we saw that a lot in the regional list that we were reviewing earlier. We saw a lot of Shadal Dragons. I think Shadal Dragon's quite good right now. Also, cross out for the D-Barrier, really fake, not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't think you need cross out for D-Barrier. Seems pretty unnecessary and kind of a waste of space. Like, you should be able to play through D-Barrier for the most part with cards like High Spirits and D-Barrier and Nadir. Prepare, says Nightfall, to dodge Imperm, High Spirit Bridge, yeah. Angra, that is true, but you can save Fountain with Hugin. That was my reasoning behind Eldritch, fair enough. I mean, that's why I like Cosmic, but you are running that. Holy was that little screen. I'll screenshot this. Imperm and more High Spirit Bridge. Yeah, it's an anti-impermanent, it's a High Spirit Bridge. That's interesting. I just like, it doesn't help you going second, but this card is, this is interesting because it's also light, so it's a combo piece, right? And it's a dragon, so, or, I mean, whatever that's worth. Better alert, banished than tragedy. That's fair. It is a better alert, banished than tragedy. I do agree with that. I would say that, like, my hands with Mercurier, though, brick way more than tragedy. Like, my hands with tragedy are, on average, a slightly less bricky kind of thing. It's a little bit better of a combo piece, at least without sword. Maybe you could run a sword in this build and start doing things like that, right? Like, would you ever maybe consider that? Are you not much of a fan of sword? Damn it, Chris, I literally made this to get roasted. I'm trying to, I mean, I was about to say, I felt like I was being harsh on this list. I felt bad. Exodia Obliterate. Yeah, no, this is an interesting list to say the least. I mean, it's High Spirit Bridge the deck, right? Like we're just bridging all day every day. The Phantasme, the Change of Heart. Hey, I was just trying to give, you know, like if you post a list, I got a job. So interesting. I think the desires though, and all thing in actuality, you should probably be running desires in a list with 60 cards kind of thing, right, guys? I mean, I saw a list run it in 40, which was crazy. I think that was a grief. I think at 50 is a slightly more understandable. However, I still don't think it'd play. So we have Abyss Walkers. Thank you, Nightfall, for the submission. That was one of the decks of all time. What's up, Yuri Diaz, with the brick Cartesias in the chat? Abyss Walk, how you doing, brother? How you doing? My branded brother. Can't wait for Indy. Biswalker 198. This is what I've been running on real life. Want to incorporate either Nadir Servant or High Spirits, but honestly I do not know what change would be more optimal. I've been playing branded more or less a month and a half. Welcome to the branded squad. 60 card list. Thunder Dragon list. I'm gonna have to zoom in this. Alright, here we go. So we got the Thunder Dragon package in here with 1 Thunder Dragon Dark and 1 Hawk, but we have the standard branded package with some patchworks, 2 red, 1 white, Allure, 3 Cartesia, 2 Quem, 2 Tragedy, 1 Merc. That's typically the ratio I like. Yeah, I typically don't recommend people run like 2 or 3 Merc unless it's just, I mean, like, it is a better banish, to be fair. I just think like Tragedy is like a bit better of a card than Merc overall. So yeah, no, and then you have the two Thrust, if that's just like, you should be running 3 personally. 2 Desires is like fine, helps the consistency. I think Desires is pretty good in like an Edge package deck. Don't really care about banishing those cards. Or the Thunder Dragons, and the Thunder Dragons are there to facilitate some presumably shifter lines, because it's pretty easy to go into a Colossus plus like a Masquerade or something under or like a Stapelia under shifter with just a branded fusion a lot of the time. Cool. Colossus, I do have to get my hands on a package to bring to locals one of these days. So we did do the deck profile pretty early, which people appreciated, which I was happy about. But I think overall that Colossus is just a shifter option for us right now, not too much outside of that. And then in the side deck, we do have the Evenly Matched, the Cosmics, really standard. I like the list. I mean, personally, I don't think Thunder Dragons are very good outside of the thing. Also, I think you want to incorporate Nadir High Spirits. I'd say you could remove the patchwork engine for those. Just way more consistent. You'll brick a lot less if you remove the patchwork and add in like Nadir High Spirits than like up the Saronir count and the Shrouded count, right? Which I think you already have to up Shrouded to 3 in a list like this. Here is Josh's deck. There's no vanity, right? This is a cool list. 50 cards with the Super Poly Droplet combo. Breaking any board with 3 Shrouded Dragons, Adlib, and Puppet. I think like Nightfall said before, I think that Adlib is pretty not needed if you're already running Puppet. You do have the 2 Mirror Jade. It is nice to give your deck like, you know, some other angles outside Puppet with the Adlib, but honestly, if you're running Puppet, you should be going for the Puppet line plus like double Mirror Jade, right? On top of like Mercury or Stapelia. I've been seeing Soul Release being put back in people's deck. I don't know. I don't really like this card personally. I think it doesn't do enough against most decks, where you could have a more general thing decided against the fire decks that work against other decks, but that's just me. And then we have the D Barrier, the Evenly Matched, the Brand Banishment. I do like this list. The 2 High Spirits is interesting. I'd probably just go 3 at that point, but I think the 2 to not brick as much is fine. You aren't having to go the 3 Saronir there, so that's always the issue with High Spirits, is just like running a bunch of Bestials that suck. All right, Branded Despia Super Pal is called. Interesting. GameCube Slayer. This is what I've been running on Master Duel with a Wish Brand Fusion opening. We're at 3 on there, but this is what I got to work with. Okay. 2 Nadir. I think it's at 2 in that, so that's why you have to run 2, I guess. 1 opening, 1 fusion. Since they're at 1, unfortunately, you do run the 1 grass. I understand. I would run it 2. I think it's 2 free, so you also run the Tragedy. You could thrust that out. Going second, some really disgusting things. You run the Bestials 2. Maximus. Yeah, no, I mean, this looks like about the build I would run if I was playing on Master Duel. You have to run the Max Cs. They're so good. Outside of that, though, extra deck looks solid. 2 Guignol. You have the Super Polys too, which I think are quite good right now. I don't know about the Master Duel meta, how good they are right now. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe like a Fairy Tale Snow somewhere, but I don't even know if that's good in the deck, to be honest. All right, we got GZ1K's list here. I've started playing Pure Branded a lot more over Chimera now. I was wondering if it's worth playing 3rd Cartesia and if the Dragoon is still worth it, because it never came up once. Only bricked my hand. Also ignore the side deck. I haven't even done it yet. That's totally fair. Side deck looks honestly just like whatever. Like, it looks fine. Like, obviously the cross out stuff take out, but the rest of it looks fine. Like Droplet, Cyclone. Evenly, I'd probably put the Droplet in the main, but Like, I think running droplet and super poly is just fine. Just run a little bit more engine. I mean, you saw Clifton Land do it quite easily. You run the Dragoon too. I do like the Dragoon. How do you like the Dragoon? I'm curious. I do think the Dragoon is an okay option for us right now. I was actually testing with it very early on this format. No longer, but I think it's a good option nevertheless. No vanity. Do you prefer American print or European print for your cards? I prefer Euro print. We have Yuri Diaz over here hooking me up with so many Euro cards over YCS Raleigh. I met a lot of like Italian and European vendors. All very nice people that hooked me up. Now like half my deck is like Euro. So yeah, anyways, this deck's interesting. I would just probably remove the, I mean, you don't have Thrust, so I guess you're running Cross Out. You do have the Nadir. I'd just say remove the Cross Out personally and just like deal with the Nadir and like run 3 tactics or something. I just think hand traps aren't great in branded, personally speaking. And then, yeah. No, I think 3 Cartesia too is something that you can consider. I like the Lulu to Mirror Jade with the Dragoon with your super poly targets. I'd just up Grand Guignol to 2 also. It helps with a lot of combo lines. It helps you 1-card Gimmick Lock with Branded Fusion, which is really important. Then yeah, work on the side deck, please. And definitely keep playing Branded over Chimera. I think that's definitely the play. West Virginia's finest has hit the stage. Guys, updated deck list for this week's roasting deck list. My man's always submitted out here. GZ1K, the only time I could have gone into Dragoon over Mirror Jade, the Dark Magician was the reason I lost. Yeah, that's the thing, like running the 1 of Dark Magician can be very bricky. That's why I don't run it personally. It can be very detrimental. If you run things like Allure and like High Spirits, you know, these are cards that can convert your Dark Magician into less of a brick, but even then, you know, you'd rather that be a different card anyway. But Dragoon's a very strong card that fills a void that no other card does. It is an Omni Negate, which is pretty strong in a format where people are running a lot of hand traps and board breakers. All right, so yeah, no, this is a cool list. We have 3 Cartesia. We have the droplets with the super poly. Like I said, that's like my favorite board breaking option tree for branded at the moment and has been since I started running it. Because I think when you run the super poly and droplet, you basically have unlimited access to breaking any board in the game. Super poly also helps you like dodge like imperm and things like this, and like super poly is basically always live against things like Snake Eye. Even though it's not the best, you can still make a Mud Dragon depending on their board, which turns off the Promethean, and then also you can make just set Albaz Mirror Jade, right? Also very good against Tenpai right now. Like, what is Tenpai doing to get around the super poly? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nadir, you love to see it. No, three Nadir and High Spirits, running both of them can be a bit dangerous because they are going first cards at the end of the day. So I think that I would consider maybe cutting down one of them, probably the High Spirits to 1 personally. But they are cards that work well together. I just think that if you run the 1, then you can search it and it'll just be fine, kind of thing. You just don't want to draw too many of it going second, but hey. Also, like, High Spirits is a lot more it's a reliant card on other cards. Like, you need to have a dragon where Nadir just works. That's why I like Nadir over High Spirits personally, because Nadir just works. It just fires, you know. High Spirits, you need to have a card before the card works, which I think is the biggest issue with High Spirits outside of it being once per turn, which is still a thing that Nadir Servant has, so I can't really compare it in that aspect. I do like the Magic Deflector. This is something that we've been kind of debating on as a thrust target, because it's pretty good against like anything with quick play spells, quick play spells and field spells, which a lot of decks right now, such as Tenpai and the Fire decks, use those kinds of cards. So it's not even bad against branded for the quick play, you know. So you do have the Magnamuts and then the Shadal Dragon, Change of Heart, Harpy Feather Duster, Mind Control, Cosmics. I have no issue with this deck. This is a very good deck list. Outside of the High Spirits, like, you got to cut that down a little bit, and then you can cut down the Sarnier, and then you have a tighter build that you could see your side deck a lot more often. 2 Berg for Thrust and Quem in a second. Oh, you don't even have Thrust, that's why. Oh, okay, well, if you don't have Thrust, I guess the High Spirits make sense. Never mind, carry on. Yada, one of our favorite community members. Always there in the chat. Yada. On the Discord. Always see you in the Discord at least. But I know you're a lurker too, so I appreciate you, Yada. No vanity. It's so funny because everyone in Europe wants the American prints, even though they are usually around 30% more of the price. Really? That's interesting. Yeah, no, I that's why I was told by Raul, like basically like Europeans want like the American print. We want, you know, I'm like, well, we want the European prints, and you guys want the American prints. Instant Fusion's kind of wild too. I'm not gonna. Oh, this is Yada's list. You are running the high spirits with the thrust with the Edgem package because that works pretty well with the high spirits. Overall, I like the list. I mean, I think that 3 Cartesia is probably what you want. I mean, the Instant Fusion's a little troll in my opinion. Probably don't want to run that. I mean, obviously you can go out to Mud Dragon for free, but I don't think that's very good personally speaking. Kit was still a card maybe, but she's not. So we do have the Phantasma on the side with Magnamuts and Pankratops. I don't think Pankratops very good right now, so I mean that's something you can cut. Black Goat Laugh's pretty good. Droplet's good. I think you need the Droplet in the main as well. You just don't have enough board breaking capability. All right, we got Boblin, the Sexy Goblins deck list for regional this weekend, or this week. Currently thinking about replacing the nib in the side with normal spells so that I have more things to search. Happy with it. Other than that, though, probably not the best list, but I've always been more comfy with 60 cards and just going to stick with it. Fair enough, fair enough. Yuri Diaz, been cooking Tenpai Omega all day. I just hit Platinum King. I posted stuff in replays. Very nice. I'll have to check one of them out at least. You're Platinum already, my man. My man's out here grinding YuGiOh Omega. I want to grind YuGiOh Omega. It's just that no one respects us. So, like, I, like, lost my drive to want to grind it. Because I could get, like, #1 on Omega, and then it's like, oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, no, this is a interesting list, though. Yeah, I mean, I would probably take out the 1 nib. I think the 1 nib's a little troll. I'm not gonna... the Havness is interesting. Sword is cool. We're doing some sword stuff, but you're only running 1 Mercurier. I'd probably do the 2-in-2 ratio with Tragedy. 3 Tragedies. Really unnecessary, in my opinion, from the testing I've had. Thrust Tactics. Droplet. You're breaking most boards with the packet, with the Edgem package. So, I mean, I don't mind the main deck, honestly. It makes sense. Two desires. I would just remove that 1 nib. Like, you're just going to top deck it more than anything. I mean, I see maybe why you're doing that for the Titaniclad for purely, but I mean, you do run the double Masquerade though, because you do run the Havness, so good on you. Side deck also is interesting. Electromagnetic Turtle theoretically for Tenpai, but it's not very good against Tenpai because they could get into Transcendent Dragon if they see that you're going into that, so before they go battle phase. Mind Control's busted. Change of Heart's busted. Zombie World's busted also. Very good against Flu and pretty good against Tenpai as well, since a lot of their monsters require them to be dragons. PGA Pro Seed. My starter branded deck is going to be very suboptimal. LOL. I mean, that happens. That's what you got to start somewhere, man. We just appreciate you for getting your foot in the door and, you know, trying branded out. And, you know, it's going to be a fun progression to see where you start with branded and where you end up kind of thing. And we'll be here to help you out with your deck too. You know, lots of great content on YouTube. I have so much content on my channel for deck building. So, you know, you can always take one of my lists. One Nightfall's list, you know. I like the list though. Just like, I'd just remove Electromagnetic though. Put like I think Threatening Roar is a better card. Against Tenpai, right? If you're specifically looking for a Tenpai out, but at that point you should be like siding D barrier. Like, you should not be siding an out to Tenpai for specifically if you're not already siding D barrier. An 8% Tenpai doesn't like justify like even like a single card for them that's like specifically for Tenpai in my opinion. So here's Jake the Mountain Man. Here's his build that he's testing out for a locals tomorrow. 3 high spirits. He was running a lure, but then he went to high spirits. I think this is fine. I was like roasting him a little bit earlier when I was like, oh, you probably want 2 Saranir or 3 Saranir, but no, it's probably just fine in a 46 card build like this. You're probably just gonna be just fine, you know. MFR made me yawn too, and I just woke up from a nap. LMAO. Nice. Yeah, no. We're Chris, stop. Sorry, I'm falling asleep in real time, JK. Yeah, no, this is an interesting list. 3 Ogre. I think Ogre is something that we're going to be seeing more in lists just because it's good against Tenpai. It's good against Gimmick Puppet too coming up. Also, just like a lot of other decks, right, have these... a lot of other decks have these field spells that the Ogre can hit. It's also pretty good just on the IP Masquerena. Not a bad card whatsoever. Dropped it down to 2 high spirit so I can be at 45. Fair enough. Yeah, no, keeping it at 45 makes it ultra consistent. See why you're running the ogres at that point, right? Like you will end up seeing them like fairly often. I'd maybe just like get like 3 more hand traps somewhere. I don't think you need the cross out for the D barrier personally, but it's not bad because you do have the Ash. I'd maybe run an imperm at that point, but that's just me. It's also not bad for the mirror, right? Like crossout is quite good in the mirror. Going first, but not so much going second. Depends though. Here's Samy K's list that they are bringing to locals tomorrow. Will be my first locals run in a bit, so let's hope all goes well. Good luck. So this list is a Thunder Dragon list. So we're running 1 Hawk, 1 Thunder Dragon Dark, very similar to the list we saw before. 54 cards though, and we are running the 3 Thrust, 1 White, 2 Red, standard ratios, 2 Tragedy, 2 Mercurial, but we also do have the Allure of Darkness, obviously pairing quite well with the Thunder Dragon cards. And yeah, no, that's, I mean, I see the droplets. There's not really too much I'd say about cut. Like, I think the main deck's quite good. You have 3 Cartesia, 2 Quem. You'll love to see it. There's really nothing I'd change from the main deck. I think this is pretty good as it is. Thunder Dragon adds a nice, interesting layer to Branded. I will say that. Not sure if it's the layer that we need, but it's a fun layer, nevertheless. Pankratops, I'd probably not be siding that. I'm surprised they're not running Fenrir's, because usually Sammy's on Fenrir in the side, which is always interesting to me. I personally don't like Fenrir in the side. GZ1K, I'll probably swap the DM for Light Hex, so if I draw it, it's also an Albaz. Totally fair. Yeah, like the pop for Dark Magician does not come up right now. I actually think Hex is kind of better than Dark Magician at the moment. Also, it's not bad to just be able to like allure it. So I think Dark Magician's better in like an allure build. Jake the Mountain Man, Ogre can be recycled with Sanctifier. This is true. Ogre is very much like Mercurial in the respect that its hand trap effect can also be used on the field. So this means the interactions with Sanctifier, you could just revive your Ghost Ogre that you pitched to the graveyard, and then you can use it again. Snatch Shield, Herald of the Abyss. Probably gonna do a couple more or less, and then we're gonna get to ranked games here. And then if we hit our goal, we will do some branded combos. We are at 43 likes right now. If we do hit that for 50 likes, we will be doing some branded combos though. So guys, sure, rack up that like button if you haven't already. I do like the Ghost Ogres. I like the Change Heart, Snatch Steal. Very good cards. And Herald of the Abyss. Just, you are never losing to Purrely with this kind of build. Just Ghost Ogre the Purrely. They're gonna be looking sick. View, how is this for a budget list? We have a budget branded list here. Let's see how this goes. It's a $56 main deck. Not bad at all. Bunch of hand traps, the Allure of Darknesses with the patchwork with brand fusions. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, branded can still get pretty budget, right? Very much so. I do need to make an updated budget list. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. What happened to all of our viewers? Did they just start falling asleep on stream or something? So yeah, 3 Albion though. I guess that makes sense when you aren't like Sanctifier is like a $30 card and like Guardian Chimera is like a $30 card, so things like that won't quite be in rotation. Here's Ivy's list here. Witch's Strike. What does that card do? I'm gonna have to Google that. Research that on Omega. Let's see what Witch's Strike does. She probably negates the normal or special summon of a monster, or the activation of a card effect, destroy a card your opponent controls and in their hand. That's crazy. What? I feel like this card would have been maybe crazy to side in when Baron was the thing, but that's interesting at 3. I don't know if I'd run it. I'd like to know the reasoning with that, but then you do have the Sword, the Bashment, the Brand Beast. That's a lot going first cards, and Regained. With the amount of Bestials you're running, I probably wouldn't be running all those. I think Regained is quite good though. Or sorry, Brand Beast is quite good, right? Because it also allows you to recur the Lost pretty easily, so not bad. I'd also take it like the Magnum, the Witch's Strikes, yeah, and the side. And also, what is this card? What's this card? Do you guys know what card this is? 2 Aluber 2 is a little sus. Here's Palace's list. Can't afford Thrust. Any advice? I'd just run Nadir at that point. It's the one World Chalice Lore Fusion. Oh, really? Does it have really generic summoning costs? GZ1K, I put the new list. I'm going to bring it to locals tomorrow, so hopefully it goes well. Check it out. Zelda Duelist. Here's Zelda Duelist list. I recommended to them, like, they run 3 duplications when they don't run Thrust, or they can't afford Thrust. I think that this should be Nadir personally, but I think duplication's a fine option, but I think Nadir is just a bit way more proactive. Here is Devin Reeves's list. He runs the super poly over the droplets, which is interesting, but he does side the droplets, so you'll love to see it. 2 Cartesia, 1 Quem. It's really like a more consistency build, but he does have the Nadirs. You'll love to see it. With Maximus, I think Nadir is very much back on the menu, personally speaking. Like, there is branded, but there's not enough branded to really have me say, like, Nadir isn't a good card to run. It does suck when you Nadir a branded player, though, I will not lie. However, most of the time you can play around it. You know, if you're able to, if you have like thrust or talents and they like send Garura or something, most of the time they're gonna send Titan-clad and Albion though, which can be an issue, but you can kind of try to play around it. If not, just side it out game 2 and 3. 3 link monsters. So it's a super poly target. Marcel, could Threatening Roar be a better side option for a thrust target instead of Soul Release? What do you think? I mean, Soul Release Threatening Roar is for 10 Pi dragons, right? Whereas Soul Release is for specifically Snake Eye and Fire King, because they're very grave, and also Salamangreat, because they're all very graveyard reliant strategies. Whereas 10 Pi does not care about their graveyard. Some variants actually run Shifter. It's good in their deck, but they do. Ogre also, I was Apo 2 because the Apo pops before the attack can be deducted. Oh really, Jake? Come on, man, that's nice. Yeah, I think Ogre is actually like one of the most underrated hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Ever since Gamma got banned, we don't really have a removal hand trap, and that is our last removal hand trap. Really, besides Herald of the Orange Light, which only some decks can run. Very few, frankly. Here is Yuri Diaz's list from a few days ago. My go decent bulk list here. I like this list. It's very similar to his YCS Raleigh list. He is running 2 Patchwork with the Blazing Branded King in the main. He always sings the praises of the Blazing Branded King and Dark Magician in the main deck, though. So, like, my man's always using Dragoon as a battering ram, then using Blazing Branded King to, like, play around, like, stun decks, and, like, it helped him out a lot. Like, he was winning a lot of decks, or games against, like, Flu and Stun, and those 2 cards, Dark Magician and Blazing Branded King, helped him a lot in those scenarios. We are running Magma and Sarnier in the main with only 1 High Spirits, which I think might be a incorrect ratio, but that's just me. 1 Mirror Jade, 2 was a bit tough. I'd probably cut the Masquerade for a second Mirror Jade, personally speaking. But you do have the second Guignol, so we love to see it. 43 likes on the stream, though. Very much appreciate you guys. Still got 30 people watching right now. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming through on this Friday night, hanging out with us for the last 3 hours. So, but yeah, no, Threatening Roar is certainly something that you could run against 10 Pi, but I don't think that we really need it for 10 Pi. Scolding is interesting. Yes, he likes the Scolding. I personally don't like Scolding because, right, it can't... You're going to be setting cards off of Albion, so I don't know. I'd much rather run Solemn Judgment, personally speaking. Twin Twister, 1 Cosmic, 2 Super Polys. Also, Super Polys on the side is basically just for the mirror, but you do have the Banishment. I don't think you need the Super Polys, personally speaking, on the side without Garura or Mud Dragon, because at the point you're just doing it for branded. Also, guys, remember, I do offer branded coaching. If you guys want to hit me up for one-on-one coaching sessions, hit me up on Discord or Facebook. I can help you out with your gameplay. We can do one-on-one duels, gameplay reviews, and deck building, and just like try to like figure out where you're struggling with the deck and improve there. Improve your gameplay and show you like lines that you wouldn't know otherwise. So this is perfect if you want to get some in-depth, really just like one-on-one branded help. So definitely hit me up, guys. I have very fair rates too. Very experienced with the deck, obviously running a channel on the deck for almost the last year. So yeah, guys, that's another way to help support the channel. As well as that, so become a channel member, click the join button. You get access to the coaching branded group chat that we got going. Wonderful community that we have in there. Like, we talk every day. We talk theory and branded. And people are there, you know, always asking about their deck lists and questions for various things. So you're able to get information, and also you're able to just ask whatever question you want at the time about your branded deck or about Yu-Gi-Oh in general or other decks. Also, you get all my deck lists early in that group chat. I will start doing early videos as well, and then we're also always adding perks to that one. Like, we just added, you guys the members get first access to or get exclusive access to the dueling days, where you guys can duel against me. If you're a channel member, you just sign up in the queue basically. Just let me know that you want to duel me that day when we're streaming and we're doing the member duels. And yeah, fun times for people who want to support, who want to, you know, fun times for people who want to support the channel for $5 a month, and then also get a little extra through the coaching group chat and like my early deck list. Morbin, do you sell coaching services? I do. DM me for like rates and all that fun stuff on Discord, though. My Discord is down below, or click ! Discord to join the Discord like this. And you guys will join the Discord. It's a wonderful community there. Wonderful Yu-Gi-Oh resource. Also, you get updates to all my videos there. You guys, wonderful resource in there. I can't speak highly enough about the Discord we got going. I'm very proud of that community that we got going on there. But yeah, I do sell coaching services, guys. Hit me up for that, for Branded Despia and other decks in general, but mainly Branded Despia. The other decks, usually TEARLAMENTS and like Light Sworn, are my two other decks that I really know, and shit alls. But yeah, Morbin. Marcel, I just want to learn the game on paper, other older formats and simulators, says Marcel. What do you mean? Like, do you not like Modern? Do you play Time Wizard? What are your favorite formats then, Marcel? Favorite ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh, rather. Thanks for the profile, says Yuri Diaz. No problem, no problem. We finally got that YCS Raleigh profile. Zanaki, I think I already, like, basically gave him some advice, but, like, I'll tell you guys what I said to him. He asked I could use some of your advice, MetaGamesGX, to make perfect branded build 60 for this meta. I have no access to Sanctifier yet. You need to learn a 60 card build, and I said you need to learn a 60 card build to filter through your deck. Other cards to consider: Patchwork Engine. I'd drop hand traps in favor, and also I said I'd drop hand traps in favor of board breakers and more gas personally, which I think is correct. I think the ogres maybe could stay, but I think if you, like, you know, you're adding like more tactics, more like gas, such as like more Quests and Cartesias, then you're going to be able to play through hand traps more. Also, Ash not being in here with the Imperm, I think Nib should probably be in here as well if we're going for a hand trap-ish approach. If not, like, obviously more like Super Polys or something would go pretty hard in a build like this. Maxi Emeg, channel member in the chat. Have you seen Runic Lightsworn? Yes, I have. Runic Lightsworn is nuts. My man Raul actually put me onto that deck before anyone was really talking about it, and I saw it was pretty nuts there. The issue is that Baron got banned, so that build was like really reliant on Baron and Savage. Not so much Savage, but... Oh, 3 people just joined the Discord. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Also appreciate all you guys on Twitch. 2 people still holding it down on Twitch. Appreciate you guys. Y'all are helping out with the... getting my channel affiliate link over there so you guys can start... you know, if you guys want to use your Twitch Primes to support the channel, that will be another very easy and basically free way to support the channel. I have 69 followers over there. If you want to keep me at the funny number forever, obviously, don't follow me, or you could just follow me and help out the channel. It's up to you. We have GZ1K's updated list here. GZ1K, I cut the cross out like you said and swapped for the hex. I would say, though, like, cut the cross out entirely. Like, a 1 of cross out isn't going to be doing much, especially when you don't have an Ash Blossom. Like, that's all I'm saying in terms of that. Like, you could get better cards in terms of that. Like, let's just see my deck list right now. Like, you could put in stuff like Nibiru, Shadal Dragon, Change of Heart, Herald of the Abyss, Mind Control, Snatch Steal, I think D-Barrier, and Destructive Daruma Cannon. We also have the Droplets and Super Polys. These are all things you can consider. I think also High Spirits is something you could consider also for more gas. But I think in terms of the side deck, it's just getting some, you know, just some of these. I mean, obviously, you don't have Thrust. That's the issue. So, like, you can't run these 1-ofs when you don't run Thrust. So I would probably go with hand traps at that point, like get some nibs and like drolls on the side. Like, those 1-of hand traps could be fine, but I think branded is much more conducive when you're running hand traps to run the more impactful hand traps. I forgot about the side. I forgot. Oh, so yeah, if we're just talking about the main, yeah, the main's killer now, brother. I'd say maybe 3 Cartesia as well, just for like extra consistency. Like, Cartesia plus Dark Magician, or the Herald is pretty nice, right? Or sorry, or the substitute. All right, how long have we been reviewing deck lists? We have been reviewing deck lists for about an hour, so I think that should about do it. Unless, if anyone has a deck list they want reviewed, make sure to post it now in that Discord, !Discord. Also, guys, I failed to mention, I do have a TCG play. Oh, fuck. I forgot to message him that. Yeah, I do have a TCG player affiliate link, though. Someone asked me for my TCG player affiliate link earlier, and I forgot to message them that, so hopefully, they haven't. I forgot about the side. Yeah, no, if you want to update the side, I guess I could review the side, but that's up to you. What's up, that Salty Fry? You got a deck list for me? You got a deck list for me to review that Salty Fry? But yeah, exclamation point TCG in the chat if you guys want to support the channel. That's one of the freest and easiest ways to support the channel, is just to buy some cards, buy some packs of sleeves, buy your normal swag that you, or card stuff that you would do normally on that platform. Oh, Galzo has a new video with Nightfall. We can react to that. I wish I forgot. I forgot all about that. Yeah, no, we'll watch that and like tweet it out. Shout out to Galzo and Nightfall. Let's watch that after the stock list. Oh, this song's so good, brother. Gotta let that sound play out. All right. Absolutely not, says that Salty Fry. Can't reveal the goo until first place indie deck profile. Fair enough, fair enough. So I'm not even sure whose list this is. I'm sorry, but this is a good list. I like this list actually a lot. I'm not even sure if I'd change anything, frankly, besides like 3 thrusts. Very good list. It's very similar to my list. Like I'm running 3 nib. Let's watch the Galzo video.